So here's a great little story about Henry Cavill, not only as an actor, but as someone who wants to understand his character, who wants to understand the fandom and the thing he's doing as a professional. And what he's doing is listening to people online. This is a guy who actually researches his character. He plays the games, he reads the books, and he wants to know what it means to be this character. This is called method acting. And technically, he is a leading man, so you don't really have to be a method actor to be a leading man. But if you're basing your character off someone who wrote about them in a book or a novel, then you say, okay, I want to do what the writer wanted to do. This was the intention of the writer. I want to get it right as possible. I want to be as accurate as I could and respect the creativity and the way that the writer created this character. This is the same attitude of David Suchet in his portrayal of Poirot in Agatha Christie's books. He wants to get it just right as best as possible. There's so much details about these characters. There's so many books about them, video games and what have you, that there's plenty of media for an actor to absorb. And Henry Cavill has done that. He's done that very well with Geralt of Rivia. So what he does, he prepares himself for negative feedback because he understood the show and wouldn't have the benefit of Geralt's inner dialogue as the books do. And the books are slightly different than the games in their depiction of Geralt, but they get a lot of things accurately. So I think any of those criticisms, they often line the things like I was saying. We don't have the advantage of a long, involved conversation or dialogue with Geralt, so there are criticisms which I think I was prepared for. So for me, it's about seeing that, understanding it, and working out how I can do my job better within the framework provided, how to appease and make those people feel comfortable that I do actually understand this character and love this character just as much as they do. And we're talking about the adaptation from the books to the show, not the game to the show. There probably is some overlap as well, but it's mostly from the books. And the adaptation from the writing is really the problem that then Cavill has to translate. Say, well, I know from the books how Geralt would perform and act and think and behave. The writing is giving me a different path to walk. How I walk that is very difficult because you want to appease your producer and director. Say, okay, I want to do what you guys want me to do, but at the same time, I have to be accurate to the books. And there's lots of arguments between actor and director on what's the best depiction of the character. This has happened quite a lot with David Suchet. He says, listen, we're going to do it my way or none at all. There's no other way. We have to do it the way I see it. That's why you're hiring me. I've researched this character. I know him very well. This is what I'm doing. And I'm getting that same sort of feeling from Henry Cavill. For me, it's vital to go out and read. I'm on all the Reddit forums. I'm reading all the reviews. I'm literally trying to get everyone's information, which is pretty crazy. Reddit's a pretty wild place. It's not the best place to learn about yourself if you're in a popular light. You're going to get a lot of negative feedback, but there are some gems, of course. Some of it is not useful, and other criticisms are incredibly useful. I take it all in, and I look forward to bringing it even closer and closer to the Witcher author Andrzej Sapkowski's writing. So this is a guy, he's like, while he's not acting or working, he's researching. He wants to be better at his craft. He wants to do the best possible job he can, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of funny when you look at the reviews and the scoring, how people look at it. The critics don't like it too much. And we don't know exactly how many people scored this because I think Rotten Tomatoes took that away for some reason. Not sure why. But 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. On Metacritic, 7.4 from over 3,000 ratings and a 53 from 17 critic reviews. So there always seems to be a disconnect between critics and user scores. I wonder why that is. And I'm not saying the show is perfect. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. It had some problems. I spoke to fans of the show or fans of the games as well as the books. So they look at it and say, hey, this is not great, but it's certainly not bad. A lot of effort and time was put into that, whether you're talking about the combat, the costumes, although there was a big problem with the design of the Nilfgaardian costumes. Obviously, the casting has been always a huge issue. It's always going to be a problem with any kind of live-action adaptation, but especially with the love interest. as that was a big focus of the games. And the descriptions of the chestnut-colored hair of one of the characters is not quite exactly brown and not quite exactly auburn. So that's always a bit of a question mark. It's like, is that really how Triss is supposed to look? Is that really the right hair color? In the games, it's much more bright. The color is way bled up. So she's a bright auburn-colored, curly-haired lady. So a little different in the show. The show and Cavill have a fan in the actual writer. The Witcher author told people several months ago he was more than happy with Henry Cavill's appearance as the Witcher. He added, Cavill is a real professional, just as Viggo Mortensen gave his face to Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, so Henry gave his to Geralt, and it shall be forever so. Isn't that nice? It's always nice to get praise from the author. I always compare this again to Agatha Christie. She was always giving praise to all the depictions of Poirot, even though in secret she was saying she hated them all because they were never very good. And she also got tired of writing the character. So production was halted over the coronavirus. Season 2 reportedly films under the title Mysterious Monsters. So, hey, good on Henry Cavill. He seems to be a gamer's gamer. He's right on there on Reddit, learning about what makes him tick, what makes him good to the fans. And the fans are liking it. Whether the user score is always going to be different than the critic score, at least he's listening, and he's always saying the right things about what it means to be a fan, probably because he himself is also a fan and likes what he does. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourself a great day.